Welcome back to the PaperTrails podcast. It's your boy Mohamed here today without Sharmarke. Unfortunately, the boy couldn't make it. Such a sad day when he can't make it when there's such a special guest in the building. Such a special guest. It's been 40 minutes since we actually arrived. He was here early, so I have to thank him. But we've been having some lovely conversations while the mics were off because of some technical issues. But yeah, I want to welcome a special guest. I'm going to do the lovely honors that we've recently started where we read out a guest Google description. And then I want to see if you think it's accurate before you introduce yourself properly. Okay. D Armstrong is an author, playwright and international educator who holds an MA in stage and screenwriting after earning a scholarship from Regent's University. He is the creator of the Beyond Worlds anthology. He teaches self-development through creative writing to prisoners in the UK and the United States, and also the author of the Ugly Dogs Don't Cry book from the Jacaranda 20 and 20 collection. Is that correct? How's that sound?
Yeah, no. It's all 100.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, blessings. Yeah.
And thank you for your patience. Honestly, man, it's
it's not a problem,
bro. It's been a real pleasure just to have that conversation with you before we started recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell the audience a bit about yourself and we'll get into it.
Well, I don't know what else to say. Like the bio was a good little intro. Yeah.
All right.
Like, you get me? Like, so yeah, like, I will say this. Mm-hmm. It in the write up, it says like playwright, this and that. I always say to people, before I say that I'm a writer, I always say to people, I'm just a storyteller. Mm-hmm. You get me? So I'm always grateful that I get the opportunities to tell my stories in different sort of platforms. That's what it is. Yeah. And
I can really tell from your little conversation. It was like 20 minutes. He dropped about 5 different stories, and I was like this the whole time.
Yeah. I kind of digressed to this and got to give you the background for that and context and stuff like that. I can
really tell, from like, this is what I love about interviewing authors. That I can kind of get a bit of their personality from their writing, and then hearing it in the conversation, I'm just like, okay, this makes so much sense during the recording. But yeah, so we both read the book Ugly Dogs Don't Cry. Sharmarke's written out some very thorough notes. Unfortunately, he can't make it, so I'm gonna try and kidnap his notes and make them my own. But because mine are a bit more like, I've got some quotes here and there, and like, I like this and I like that, you know?
Yeah, no, just
I'm a bit more of a freestyler.
No, bro, however it goes, innit? Yeah. Like, you get me? Like, because for me, I think sometimes, like, getting to speak to, like, the readers and stuff like that, like, it's the biggest sort of, like, buzz for me as a writer to know that when, what is it that you want to ask about this process or that character, and how did it land with you, and you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of how we know that we've done a good job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When someone's got that excitement or that passion, or they're asking questions, like,
the curiosity shows that you made something like really nice. Yeah. First of all, you must have done something right to get such a nice Google description, because you know, I recently Googled myself for the first time. You know, I came up because there's actually someone that's got my full name.
Swear.
There's got someone who's got my full name, but he's an Egyptian actor. And he's done bits like in Egypt. Like, so he's like a big actor, innit?
Yeah.
Every time I Google my names over the years, he was just coming up every time.
He just takes over. Boom.
But now I'm starting to see a little something there as well. So I'm pleased to see. So I might just have to have a chat with him at one point. But I wanted to kind of, before we get into the book, which is a great book, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, for me, as someone who was into a lot of YA novels when I was growing up, like, this would have been something that I really, really enjoyed. And like, approaching it as an adult is something like I'm seeing it from a different lens, right? So especially now that we've been doing a podcast for 9 years now where we're reviewing books. Before we used to review books every single episode.
Okay.
But now we kind of mix it up with storytelling and try and analyze different ways of storytelling. And it's more of a storytelling podcast now rather than just a purely like literature podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of expands because we both wanted to be writers growing up. So you asked a bit about us and like how we started. But yeah, we both wanted to be writers. The audience are sick and tired of hearing this by now because we haven't written anything. But so both of us wanted to be writers. So we started reading more to try and get more of an understanding.
Yeah.
And then like now we don't do fiction, non-fiction, all sorts basically. And we try and look at things from different ways, like different genres that we wouldn't normally read basically.
Yeah.
So like and then we started the book club 5 months ago, and that was like every month we were doing that, and that was really nice. We're taking a break now because it was a lot of work, to be honest. Like I never expected it to be that much work. But yeah, so I wanted to ask about, like, first of all, your background, how you kind of got into writing, and what made you like really develop a passion for storytelling. And it's gonna be I don't care if it's a long story. Just go ahead, blast whatever's in your mind. I want to hear it. I'm here for it.
Well, if I'll be honest and hold my hands up, like I went in jail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like I found literature in jail. Like it was one of them situations where, like, boom, I think before I went to jail, I'd never read, like, unless somebody told me I had to read a book, like say like in school, or my mum's like punishment or something like that. It's like I'd never read like a novel or something like that from front to back cover. Like it just, I tried once or twice, but I could never do it. Attention span or whatever, not now, boom, boom, boom. And then ended up going to jail, and then I was in the cell with like my cellmate, who was an older guy, you get me? He's about maybe 11, 12 years older than me, do you know what I'm saying? And I was like about 21, you get me? Boom, boom, boom. And so I was just buzzing, just bouncing off the walls and stuff like that, innit? Like I'm saying, raw, like, gee, when I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna get hench blood. Like, you get me? Like when I come home, watch like that now. And he was like, forget all of that. You get me? Because I was on remand at the time, innit? He's like, forget on that. It's like, you wanna just like concentrate on your case, and then also like get your mind right, like boom, boom, boom. Because if you do get a long bird, you get me? Like, you train your mind, just train your mind, innit? Like that now. So he must have given me like, a Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was the first book, front to back cover.
Oh,
you get me?
Dracula,
It was like,
okay.
boom. Like, read this. You get me? Like that now, boom.
Yeah.
So I sat down, and I think at the time we was on like 23-hour bang up. You get me? So we're in our cell for 24-hour day, 1 hour sort of like association or exercise, innit? And so I read that. And even still, it took me a while. It took me about a week, maybe 2 weeks. You get me? Because I hadn't been in the practice of reading. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's definitely a skill you got to develop.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think like from that kind of was just like, nah, I need more books now. I can't need more books, like that now. And that's where the kind of like passion for. And also, he was writing his own memoirs.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So at night, like, he would say, D, read this. You get me? And so like he was from like Sutton, them sides there. You get me? Like that now. Like and he was naughty from like back in the day and stuff like that. So he said, yeah. And I said, no, like.
Was he writing it on pen and pad?
Yeah, he's writing it on like notepads.
Yeah,
you get me? Just like and like he'd read it to me, or I'd read it, boom, boom, boom. And then like again, because he was quite versed in literature and stuff like that. So, do you know what I mean? And then I was just getting on that journey then. Do you know what I'm saying? Learning about like voices and like writing voices and stuff like that. So I can see this guy writing like he's thinking like that now. And it was like, okay. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So eventually I just started like, you know, like I'm writing letters home and the man I'm saying like, Ro, what's going on there? So I'm writing the letters home and that now. And then, boom, boom. When man's coming and V'ing me, like on the V, or like hitting them on the phone, like then, man say, hey, bruv, that letter was like a movie, blood, like that, like, yeah. So I started catching joke from that, and then like, boom, someone's like, you know, it's like when
have you seen some of those letters since he came out? Like, then it'll hold something.
No. Do you know what? I have seen one or two, and we've bust joke over them, but not when I first kind of come out. Do you know what I'm saying? But not in years like that now. And then I just started writing short stories off the back of that, whatever not now. And yeah, I just
was that like anything that just came to mind, or was it like around your situation, people around you, environment, or was that just random things?
Random things, because even I used to, you know, because I would read. I started off with like all the sort of like gangster stories, innit? Like autobiographies, and then I started to read stuff like Malcolm X autobiography. Then I started getting into non-fiction and that. So sometimes I'll try and you'd see in the letter there's sort of like essay writing sort of style. Do you know what I'm saying? Like boom, boom, boom. So I don't even think at the time I knew what I was doing in terms of saying like learning these different sort of writing voices. But I just knew that. Remember, I mean, I'm for the majority of the time I'm in like 23 hours inside my cell. Do you know what I'm saying? Like boom. When I got transferred from Wandsworth to Belmarsh. So by the time I got to Belmarsh, like I was like. I managed to get a single cell, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So now man's really on their own, listening to music, drawing, writing, like reading, like Quran. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was sort of like that whole creative sort of like what there's no other than, and you can't just go gym when you want. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think like, and back then. You didn't have a TV in your cell. So if you couldn't read, you was in problems. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it just kind of, the passion just came from. And when I came home, I'd said, nah, I'm going to keep this in some sort of fashion and sort of stuff like that. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really good point you mentioned about like the school system and how they make you think about books.
Yeah.
Because I told you we went to Cardiff to speak at a conference, and I did like a little audience engagement thing where I asked everyone once you left school, like, what was your opinion of reading? A lot of people like were just pure negative in it. So it's interesting, man. It's like the place that you're going to learn stuff is making you despise learning.
And that's the craziest thing for me. It's like, imagine I had to go all the way to jail.
Until the long way around.
Yeah, you understand? So I had to go all the way to jail to find out about literature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there were 1 or 2 books that we read in school. I think Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor. It is always been one of my favourite books. You get me? From and then Of Mice and Men, which is again with how we got to Ugly Dogs Don't Cry. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to write something that would help engage young people and they could see more reflections of themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? In the stories. But I feel like it's weird for me to say that I had to go to jail I literally say sometimes I say I had to go to jail to learn how to read and write. And I'm not talking about like functionally, because I could read and write by the time I got to jail. Like functionally, I was on my way to university, boom, boom, when I got put on remand. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm talking about understanding like the sort of like other aspects of like creative writing and literature and how it can open up your sort of horizons and sort of like the way you think. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas, man, it's weird. Yeah,
I was gonna ask you like, what was the last book that you remembered reading in school? So I'm assuming it's Of Mice and Men then, or
the last book in school. I got expelled from school.
Fair enough.
But it might have been of Mice and Men. It might have been Of Mice and Men, because definitely I definitely enjoyed Of Mice and Men. I remember having to write an essay about it as well. Yeah.
So what was your like first introduction into like, I'm gonna take it seriously now, to like I want to become a writer and publish things, and like what was your first like moment where you kind of realized that, or did you get an epiphany, or was it just like something that happened over time?
Honestly, it's gonna just sound mad.
Every time you're laughing, I'm just like rubbing my hands. Is this gonna be a clip?
So I basically I came home, bust my case, came home, whatever not now, carried on reading and writing, boom, boom. Then like my son was born while I was in jail, and so I just wanted to be a good dad. You get me? Try to go straight and stuff like that. A situation come where I managed to get a job as a production assistant and runner at a place that made documentaries and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was there for about 18 months and that, and then literally like I went in one day and they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to let you go. You get me? Like that. Now the company was going into liquidation and stuff like that. Yeah. And it was funny because I had been in a recording studio with my brother, and he was like a rapper and whatever not now, and man and were busting joke about like flipping me going straight and that. And man said to me, "Oh, what would you do if you lost your job?"
Yeah.
And then a week later, you know, like I'm like, raw. I was just like, it was written. It was written. Man put their mouth on me. Yeah. So boom, like I said a week before, I just ended up back on road. You know what I'm saying? Like boom, boom, boom. Seeing this man about a dog, seeing that man about do you know what I mean? Like backwards and forwards, And then I just didn't want to be there. I literally didn't want to be there, And then it was a situation where it's, well, if you don't want to be here, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be? You get me like that now? And I just honestly didn't know, but I knew that I still loved literature. I still loved writing, Do you know what I'm saying? So I just thought to myself, if I could write a book, you get me, and then like try and sell it, like get a publishing deal, like it sounds a bit corny, you get me like that now. Do you know what I'm saying? I think I was watching The Shy the other day, you get me, and they've got a little character that's on the same sort of vibe. He's trying to get off road by writing his way out. You get me like that now. I looked at him and said, yeah, you get me like that now.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like, right, if I can sell it, I'll sell it for about 20 bags and get a deal for 20 bags. I think there was a book called London Starney that came out like back in the day. And I remember reading that the author signed a deal for about 100K. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think it might have been his debut novel. Like I'm thinking, what 100K for shut up, bruv, I'm gonna try to write a thing. You get me like that now. So I was thinking, boom, if I could write it, get a little book deal, you get me, like 20 racks and thing like that now. Then I'll take that and flip that again. I was saying I'm gonna open up I said I was gonna buy a Subways, you know, like. Because I think at the time
you were thinking real big.
No, I think at the time a franchise was about like 28 grand. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, like, if I get 20 off the book and or did a 30 off the book, then let's see what I got. So I think that was the original sort of thing. Like, like let me see if I can. I've got stories to tell. You get me? Let me see if I can flip it and see what I go on. No,
that's really nice, man. Like, because see how I mentioned the thing where I can see some of your traits coming through in some of your characters, like the entrepreneurial side of things. Like you talking about that, and then some of the characters talking about like they're gonna make a clothing brand and they're gonna see how they can make that grow and flip or whatever. Like invest in whatever they want to invest in. See, this is all playing together because also because the art side of it is very fascinating. By the way, I really like that and the psychology of it. We'll go into that in a bit. But also, we talked before off camera a little bit about some of your other adventures outside of like even your book cover and the design and the story behind that, which you don't have to mention on the mic, don't worry. I mean that's always a fascinating thing because book covers, like we mentioned off camera, is like don't judge a book by its cover, but everyone judges a book by its cover. Factually, like that's just the way you're gonna go and pick up books. When I was like growing up, going into a library, or whatever, I wasn't going and like looking for a brown book with like just like some plain minimal cover. You know, I was looking for like the most adventurous looking book and taking that home and enjoying it.
I think I did my first book, which was Lynch's Road. And I hooked up with one of my cousin's brethren, and like I was trying to get my first book out there, and whatever not now. And then like my cousin bought them and was like, them man are saying like they want to try and do like a publishing thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like like they said, what? Would you want to put it out with us? I said, come, let's do it then. You get me? Boom. So we did it very much like a mixtape thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, bruv, it was blessed. You get me? Like, boom, the man print up 500 books to start. Do you know what I'm saying? And then like literally, the man just went to like bookshops, like barber shops, hairdressers on the ground. Sometimes we would go out raving. You get me? Like that now. Go out raving with the books in the back of the car, innit? Like, boom, pull up at like the bagel spot afterwards, or the jerk man's there selling his things.
That is amazing.
Right, what? You wanna buy my book? Like that, like, you understand what I'm saying?
Amazing.
So
people come with CDs when you're coming with the books.
But what happened now is I remember them man had set up like a book signing for me in the library. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we had like Lynch's Road, we had the book, and obviously people would come out to support, and then you know what I'm saying? Like our people that look like us would come see what's going on at the table. Do you know what I'm saying? But then you saw like a wider sense of people that were coming into the library. They would look, they'll give you a little smile and whatever not now, but they would eye the book and then they would just keep moving. Do you know what I'm saying? So I realised that the covers that we have on our books, they have to say you've got like a snapshot to catch someone's eye. Do you know what I'm saying? And also like what does it say in terms of where you're at? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that you get me in terms of like a cover. The cover's doing your book justice in a snapshot. Like it's enough to attract the person, and then also like make them wanna. Okay, let me see what this is saying. You get me? Boom, boom. So yeah.
This is a good point because I'd love to invite you on. We've got another series that we do. Yeah, we've only done one episode. It's called Judge a Book by its cover.
Okay,
so we go to like a random bookshop or whatever. Like we just bop in there, like look around, and we both pick a book that just looks nice, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we go home, read it, review it, come back and like discuss it basically.
Okay, yeah. So I'm up for that. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm gonna put you on a guest list for that. So spot on. I absolutely agree with it, especially from me, like a design point of view. At the end of the day, like, what's that saying? Like, the first 7 seconds of someone seeing you is their first, like,
first
lasting impression as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important, and I find it so fascinating when authors come and like speak about like their publishing journey. And like me over the years, what's kind of putting me away from writing like an actual novel and putting it out has been like the idea of I guess perfectionism, right? Where you gotta make something nice, you gotta make it like really good, but then when it kind of gets out of your hands a little bit, in the publisher's hands, and they got some certain I guess opinions and decisions that they make that could kind of change what you've put out. That kind of bothered me, but you know what it is? I'm like one of the guys that over plans to the point where they don't get things done. I'm trying to get out of that now.
Oh, so what do they call it? Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of that now. I'm not in that space anymore. Thankfully,
I've been there before.
Yeah,
but in terms of like saying like writing and the process and like dealing with publishers and stuff like that, I got really good publishers, Jacaranda and stuff like that, and they're very collaborative. Like, do you know what I'm saying? They're up to hearing your ideas and stuff like that. But I think the better you write, like, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? The less they have to do. And it's better for them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the funniest thing is, I remember when I gave them the story beats for Ugly Dogs Don't Cry. And then they were like, very like, oh, but the ending, like that now. And I was like, yeah. And they really wanted a Hollywood ending. And I was like, nah, I don't do Hollywood sort of style. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, how the book
when you
opens,
say Hollywood, you mean like they lived happily ever after kind of thing?
Yeah. That was in terms of authenticity, in terms of like what I was trying to represent in terms of London, like some of the struggles that some of our young people have to go through and stuff like that. I just thought that
it's a bit disingenuous.
Disingenuous is a good word. I just thought that, you know, like I don't want to go down a path where it's like, oh, you know, like sometimes you might read something or you watch something and you think, nah, man. You get me like that now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you were happy until it got to that point. You're like, nah, man, the ending let me down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
100%.
I didn't want that, innit? So the way the book enters and the way the book tops and tails, that was basically down to the point where speaking to my publishers, how do we find like a compromise? And I actually think that finding that compromise, that balance, did make it a better story by putting the top and tail. But they got something that they wanted in the ending, and I didn't have to compromise any authenticity in it. I was quite happy with it. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, they're professionals. They know what they're doing, and they're working with so many different authors, and they're trying to make the book as good as possible. At the end of the day, like from is their name that's going to be like mentioned. Oh, they put out a bad book, whatever. So I definitely get what you're saying. But yeah, I want to get into the book a bit more now. So Ugly Dogs Don't Cry. I'm gonna let you describe it, and I'm gonna like just because the description that I read in the blurb was that actually got my attention. Was like I guess the West London version of Mice and Men in the
modern
contemporary.
day
So like I thought that was very interesting. When I read that, I was like, okay, like how is this gonna play out now? So would you say that's accurate?
I think it's accurate, definitely accurate. It's a modern day retelling of John Steinbeck's of Mice and Men, set in contemporary London, West London, particularly, and it's about two young men, best friends, on their first year at college.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And in terms of it being an adaptation, if you know of Mice and Men, the idea is that the college replaces like the ranch. Do you know what I'm saying? And so all the story beats are quite the same, quite similar most of the time. You have similar sort of archetype characters in it. But I think for me, again, I wanted to update the text again for a YA audience that would be able to, you know, engage with the story more for like say like English literature and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I was doing workshops down at Newman Catholic College in Harsden. You know what I'm saying? And the teacher was saying that the boys they're just not interested in, or they're not even doing well because of some of the literature that they're being given. And so I was like, oh, but what about this and that? And so that's where the whole kind of concept came about. So yeah, for me, I think the blurb is quite spot on. It's like, yeah.
You've answered Sharmarke's first point without him even being here. So he wanted to ask about Mice and Men and how it kind of came about to be. He wrote another really good questions, but before that, I want to go into the quote that I read that I noted down. So about London. London waiting has never meant that Londoners are waiting or weighing their options, and so in these pocket communities where credit is universal, there's a commodity on dreams. Oh, when I read that, I was like, wow, bars, you know. So I read that and I was like, okay, he's got he must have some kind of poetic background. That was really nice that you weaved that into it, and it was very early into the book as well.
Yeah, I mean, do you know why? Because reading of Mice and Men, the very first line in Of Mice and Men is 2 hours south of Soledad. Yeah? Okay. Right? So Soledad is a place in California. Do you know what I'm saying? But in Spanish, it also means solitary. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I read it, I read 2 hours south of solitary. Do you know what I'm saying? And I thought, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? How am I supposed to outdo that? You get me like that now? So I was like, nah. You get me like, I have to come with something hard. You get me? So that whole first bit about London and being a nexus of trade and I wanted to give, if people that weren't in London reading it, you get what I'm saying? Like also thinking of a wider audience, I tried to give them almost like a history lesson of London and where London's at, and how it got there before we start this story. So that's why when you get to that last little quote there, and it talks about like the dreams that Londoners had for themselves and how different communities, like Caribbean communities, Eastern Bloc communities, East African communities, will all converge at this one place, and this one place where there's a commodity on dreams. And if you know the idea of Mice and Men being very much about these two best friends trying to hold on to their dreams, that's like, right, now let's start the story.
Sounds even better now that you're saying that, man. Honestly, bars, man, I really love that. And I always like, because there's two aspects of storytelling. It's like you want to tell the listeners or the readers you want to tell them part by part every player of the story, or do you want to get them like have the idea of the story? I think you balanced that quite well.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate that, especially as a Londoner myself and hearing some of these stories. Like not even people that are outside London, there's also people in London that aren't really experiencing what other people in London are experiencing.
Yeah, because I think like, you know, even as subcultures in London, a man from North might be very different from a man from South. You get me like that now, like West and East. You know what I'm saying? Like boom, boom, and like, and how we converge. Do you know what I'm saying? So with these lot being from West London and almost like the idea of like in West, there's so many, like you walk down one road, these are £1 million houses, and at the bottom of that road there's an estate. Do you know what I'm saying? And so again, I think there's a line when it says about they only converge like in moments of like crime or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like boom boom. But that's sort of like, what do you expect? Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many haves and haves nots in the same area, like one end of the road and the other end of the road. Like if I've grown up all my life not having, and as I come out my house, that man's got everything. There's only going to be a certain point when I'm going to say, I'm taking that.
Yeah. Well, I'm finding some way of getting that in the right way. Yeah. So Sharmarke's point on this is the idea of dreams, loyalty, and sacrifice. Why do they hit so hard today, especially for young black boys in London, especially when you're watching or consuming media like funnily, like something we always joke about is how young black boys, they like the idea of all these like American gangsters, like the mafia stories and all that stuff, and they all like, you know, like 10 guys that Instagram like something Montana or something like that, you know, like they always got like some kind of trap star in their name. So why does it hit so hard, and why does it feel so relatable to them? Because I think we look at certain things as blueprints. Do you know what I'm saying? And so what, like the American dream and stuff like that, being able to make it, and then people will throw in stuff like by any means necessary, that means like, okay, I can do the worst as long as I make it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everything is forgiven, or do you know what I'm saying? I can succumb past the part where the law don't mean nothing to me. So it's something, it becomes like almost like something that's like a programming. It's a programming, like maybe through music, maybe through like TV, film, do you know what I'm saying? Like boom, boom. So again, that's why I wanted Ugly Dogs to be about the two young boys that were going college, and they were being different from what other sort of like stereotypes that you might see coming from out of this demographic. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think the reason why these these sort of like gangster sort of, because nobody ain't saying this man went and did this, like and he became a tech millionaire. Do you understand what I'm saying? You seeing it now, you get me, like through like social media and stuff like that. But like over the last like 30 odd years, no one ain't been saying that. Everyone's been saying, man's been doing this on road and and that's how man's made it. But it's like, so I think it's exposure to programming and blueprints. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, like we will start seeing like different sort of, how can I put it, archetypes for young black men. We just need to be able to grab hold of them and put them in front of, expose them to more young people. Do you know what I'm saying? And say, nah, there's alternatives to what you think. You get me? Yeah. So on that topic, like I'll go into the characters a bit, and the story as well. I think is interesting that you put them in the sixth form and like the first year of sixth form. It's like everyone's goes through the school system, and like every time you go through a different phase, like you finish primary school and then secondary school, you're wide-eyed, year 7 wearing a blazer that's too big and the bag looks massive on you, and you're just like some hobbit, you know. I always find it funny. I was one of them once upon a time.
Yeah, not 100. You know? I was definitely like, when I was in school, I was always one of the, I still am one of the smallest guys. You get me like that now. But I definitely had the big rucksack like a hobbit. Yeah,
you know, just do it bag looks like extra size. You know what it was? Like I was in year 7 and I had that blazer. Yeah, my mom refused to let me change it. Like, you know, in year 10 I got pretty tall in it. Yeah. I still had the same blazer from year 7. I was like,
hey, that's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But you know what? I don't blame my mom in it, because I was one of them kids that just move aggressive with everything. Like, on my shoes, I was just rinsing out shoes like every week.
100,
Shoes are gone. And then the blazer had hella holes.
Blazer gets ripped, like man's just ramping. He just, oh, bruv. Like, you know, like.
She was coming to school to pick me up with a sewing machine, man. Yeah. That's how it was.
Listen, I got a brethren. He knows who he is. We call him Super, yeah?
Okay.
Because his blazer got ripped and he tried to super glue the blazer. You get me like that? Like, bro, you know who you are. Like, you know who you are. You get me like that now? There's a few supers, but Soups, you know the particular one I'm talking about. You know who you are, bro. You get me? Yeah, bro.
Bro, that is the greatest nigga. Super. You know, Somalis like have really crazy nicknames for each other. Like there's someone like that. There's someone who's got a bit of a facial hair. Woman, they start calling her Big Beard. Like, but in Somali, innit? It just feels like a viral. Like I know a couple of people that their nickname is Big Beard. I'm like, and they're older ladies, and I'm like, why is she called Big Beard? You know?
Like, wicked.
Yeah, but Super is crazy. But yeah, so they were going into sixth form, and it's a completely new environment for them. And I thought the characters were very interesting because they seemed very stable-headed. Like both of them had their own, like you could see both of them had their own issues, but they both seemed very stable, like in their head, like in terms of the way they thought about themselves. I thought something very interesting was like Sadiq having a stutter. And that being such a common thing, and how he dealt with that. So like, there's one of the first things he does. He enters a class, and I think he was introducing himself or his piece of art. So Sadiq's the main character. I think he's meant to be Lenny, right?
Lenny, yeah.
And then he's got a stutter, and he's also got other disability due to an incident that happened in his past. I don't know how much. You know what the problem is when I'm interviewing authors. I don't want to give too many spoilers out. I want people to go read it.
I think we can tell audiences that, like, so Sadiq, who's my version of Lenny, he's blind in one eye and deaf in one ear. Do you know what I'm saying? Due to something that happened when he was younger. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, I feel like Lenny from Of Mice and Men is on the autistic spectrum. Yeah. And I felt like today, if we met somebody who was on the autistic spectrum, we would recognize it. So I thought automatically that was something that I might have to change in the storytelling. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, like how do I still get the same sort of dynamic? And so it was to almost make him introverted, but it was introverted because something had happened to him when he was younger. Do you know what I'm saying?
He had a lot of anxiety around that.
Yeah, so then his stutter comes when, you know, like he's put nervous in front of, he's nervous in front of people and whatever, not now. So I think like that was kind of like, okay, how can I still make him vulnerable, like physically, mentally, emotionally at certain times, like, and how would it play out in the storytelling?
I thought that was really cool because, like, we grow up with a lot of people from our kind of backgrounds that have these stutters, and you're thinking, like, even me sometimes when I'm really nervous, I stutter as well, which I didn't realize growing up, but I have it slightly. But like the way he kind of held himself down, like he reassured himself, where he walked in front of the class and he was stuttering a little bit, and then he just like, bun all these people, they don't know me, you know. And like I thought like that was really powerful, because like in there you just put in a little bit of therapy where you're telling someone, like, when you're struggling with anxiety or whatever, sometimes you just gotta remember, like, there's eyes on you, and it's not like, there's a lot of eyes on you, but it might just be for a little moment. They don't really know you. It's not that deep, basically.
I mean, I think the situation's a good situation because it's generally meant to be a light-hearted situation, sort of like relaxed situation, but it wasn't. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the first day of college. Everybody has to introduce themselves.
Especially in that age.
Yeah, and he's standing there with like a hearing aid, blind in one eye with a scar that's like goes from here down to here. He knows what everybody's looking at. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? He kind of knows what everybody wants to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? But he still now needs to introduce himself, and what else can I introduce about myself that's not about my physical appearance? Do you know what I'm saying? And talk about my art. It just becomes pressurized situation straight away. So it's like, how does he get out of this pressurized situation? It's by, breathing, stop. All right, cool, I'm gonna start again. You get me? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, so like I think that was very interesting, and also the idea that like all these people in that age group, especially when you think about like the general stereotype of like young black men in the UK or in London, and the aggression and violence and all that stuff, where it comes from most of the time, it's just a lack of self-assurance, anxiety, and especially when you're going to a new environment like
insecurities and stuff like that.
And like there's so many new different people, and also especially if you're an artist, or Sadiq's an artist, where you attach a lot of that art like to your personal, I guess your self-value comes from that, and how people perceive it, and how you perceive your own art, basically. I thought that was a very interesting way of telling the story as well, where his friend Kyle, who's meant to be George, is also like analyzing his art at times, and like bigging him up big time, but there's also times where he's like, yo, like, why did you make this? Like, you feeling some type of way, where because he's a bit introverted, sometimes he's not speaking his issues, but his art is kind of telling his story.
I think like Again, I think it's a bit like actually writing and stuff like that now. Sometimes there's therapy in like the creative process. Do you know what I'm saying? And so like you'll see reflections of like people. And so because both of them were like creative in a sense where one made music and one did art, I just thought like, you know, as in the story when you go into Sadiq's room, if you see all of this art around it, you would see reflections of what he's thinking about or what's consuming him, or do you know what I'm saying? Because it would just naturally play out visually in the artwork. And I thought that was, you know, like if you got a close friend and you're always with them and that now, boom, boom, but they don't talk much, but it's got to come out. How does it come out? And so therefore, it come out like visually was like, okay, cool. And then having Kyle able to look and say, oh, this is where your mind's at the moment because you keep coming back to this same sort of image that you're trying to perfect. You know what I mean? So I just thought, again, for me, it was just looking at characters and how do their psychology, how do they think, and how does it also strengthen their bond, their friendship, that you could draw something
and then know what you're feeling.
Yeah, I can see. Okay, talk to me about this, man. You get me? Like, where we going here? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I hope my friends don't do that to me because my thing is chaotic. I don't even know what I'm thinking.
No, but that's the thing, innit? It's like sometimes you might just be drawing or designing or whatever now, or making music, and people, even like writing, people want to know what was the inspiration behind that. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's times as a writer, and I have many like sort of writing friends that sometimes we kind of think, right, if I write that, are people going to think that that's me? Or like, I don't want to write that because I don't want people to think this is how I think. You get me? Like that now. And it's like, no, you got to write it because that's what's true to the story. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not about what you think. You kind of become like a conduit for getting the story out. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you say, no, I think that's a bit too, no, you get me? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're cheating the audience. You get me?
Yeah.
And I feel like your editor, he would come and say, I think we should tame this one down or something like that. You know what I mean? So, but I think as a writer, it's kind of, and as a storyteller, it's kind of definitely in the first draft, it's your kind of responsibility to get every sort of out.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to mention was the way you kind of described the environment. We talked a bit about in the beginning how you introduced London a bit, but also how you introduced the sixth form environment, where you talked about the different types of people that are trying to chat girls up, basically. So you went in like a real documentary style there, where you're like, there's the chasers, the positioners, and there's the wingman, the apexes. Where you kind of really describe them as some kind of safari animals. But like the way you described it was very like
anthropology.
It got me thinking about my college days, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Where did I fit in there? I think for me, I was trying to recreate that sort of how things work at college. Do you know what I'm saying? And also as a young person at college, how do we navigate because at my college, it was like, obviously it's mixed, isn't it? Mixed sixth form and stuff like that. But I had been thrown out of 2 other colleges before I got there. Do you know what I'm saying? And so as it was a sixth form, it was a lot different. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you had some people that had come from same-sex schools. So this was their first time that they had been in a mixed school. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how they maneuvered in comparison to some other people was completely different. You get me? Like that now, you'd see certain man come and shock them. Right, brother, you've been on that for ages. And my man just come and swooped in there, like, you know, like that. So it like, for me, like, again, it was sort of like, you know, like wildlife documentary, like, this man is there, that's the hierarchy, how are you going to get to be able to compete against him? You know what I'm saying? So I think I definitely, like those sort of like college sort of moments, they were fun for me to write because it was...
It sounds like it was.
Yeah, because I was remembering certain sort of things like where you might tell a brother, brother, move to it, and then every man's watching, and it's like, you know, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like we're watching him, and he's gone over there, and you know what I'm saying? He's talking, and the man's saying, "No, don't." You see this? You see when you see the hand going like this, yeah? Man saying, "Don't put your hand on your head, don't do it like that," and you see man go like this, like. Yeah, like that, and it's like the girl can see, rah, your confidence is gone, bro. You get me like that now because you go, yeah, like that now. And we're like, oh, you get me like. So it's all of those sort of things. I wanted to kind of throw in that chapter in terms of like how you have to get over these obstacles and have fun at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And at the same time, obviously speaking about just like general relationships between like guys and girls and how they're building each other and how they kind of approach each other and discuss like the way Sadiq and Swank first like have that first initial discussion where he's kind of confused and then they kind of like build a relationship, and because they're both artists as well, they both have a different kind of dynamic. Yeah,
you notice that Swank and Sadiq's dynamic is different to say like Kyle and Danny, do you know what I'm saying? And Kyle and Danny both do the music, Sharky do the music, do you know what I'm saying? So they've got their little kind of music click, you mean like art click, you get me? So it's those sort of things as well, like in college, it's like the little sort of naturally. Like, the little different sort of clicks, you get me? Yeah.
I thought also in terms of the teachers, there's always like one positive teacher who kind of like creates that positive environment for you. Did you think about doing the opposite as well? That's what I wanted to ask, because obviously everyone has experience where there's some teachers that kind of put them off stuff. Yeah. Like I had teachers where they're saying to me that you're really bright and all this blah blah blah, but then they'll put me down a set because of my behavior or whatever. And then I'm thinking like, what? I thought we were boys, you know, like what happened? Yeah, you feel kind of betrayal, and that kind of puts you down further. So like, did you think about that or how that might have fitted in?
Nah, not really, because I feel like with this story, it had to be contained in certain areas. So I think because you had Mr. Goodstanat, who deals with Sadiq in I wanted Sadiq to have like sort of like
I've never seen an Iranian art teacher, by the way. I don't think the man do art. I'm joking. You know,
no, man, if you think there's a lot of Persian art,
the architecture and that in Iran is really amazing.
Yeah, 100, you get me? So I think I definitely wanted that, you know, that teacher to be like a sort of like a moral or emotional sort of like guide for Sadiq. Do you know what I'm saying? So he was always there, but then I didn't see any sort of arena to bring in another or need to bring in another teacher to because again the issues that they were facing were more once they left college or like just the dynamics between the students and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like or like people that were outside the college and stuff like that.
It makes sense because it might end up being too convoluted or and you want them to have some kind of, and you've got a certain amount of pages. You're not trying to do too much there. The other thing that I found very cool was their take on like all these different kind of artists in their own, in their own world. So you got Danny who's doing his own thing, you got Kyle doing his own thing, you got Sadiq doing his own thing. Where I feel like at that age, I don't know, like unless you're in the classes together, there's not a lot of creatives that like are trying to collaborate with each other. It feels more like there's a gatekeeping kind of vibe at that age. I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal experience anyway. But like maybe because I guess
no, but I think that's that's going back to the original source material. Again, if you look at Of Mice and Men,
I've read it in ages. So
but if you look at it, there's all these different guys on the ranch, and they all got their own little things going on, and they don't interact in a certain sort of way. But then when Lenny and George come in, like Lenny and George got their own sort of like little thing going on, and almost automatically they attract people to them.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then, do you know what I'm saying? So again, in this scenario here, like, them man have their own sort of like friendship going on, and then how they move, it then sort of like spread to the sort of like circle of the people that they're in. So if you look at it, Kyle's very much the the people person, bring this man and he's gonna
yeah.
bring me air, and then when we do that, like tear, like then we can bring you and you can bring them, man. You get me like that now? Do you know what I'm saying? So the connector in it. So things sort of like organically sort of just grew for their little clique. Do you know what I'm saying? Like to the point where this man's ready to say, right, I'll put some money in there. You get me like that now? And again, that was something that was like transported from the original. Do you know what I'm saying? Where Lenny and George have got their dream of starting the farm, and then like later on they try to bring in Candy. Do you know what I'm saying? And then Crooks wants to be involved, and do you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
What I remember from my son is bloody Vaseline in the glove. I don't know why.
No, it's classic, innit? It's classic, innit? You get me? The Vaseline in the glove, you get me? Yeah.
I don't know who's doing that nowadays, man. Yeah, the next thing I was gonna say, like the dog, does the dog walking pay that well?
Yes,
I might need to get into that career.
Yes, you know the thing is, I got a brother who's a dog walker.
Okay,
he's got a dog walker business. He's had a business for about, I think, a good 10, 12 years. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I was like, huh? Like, you know, like when he said, yeah.
He's pulling up in the Benz.
Yeah, he's like getting this much for the dogs and and I said, like, you know, like, boom, it's like, rah, I do like six dogs here. I've got this guy, he's doing another 4 dogs there.
Yeah.
That's an hour, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, boom. So it was sort of like, raw, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought, again, the idea of showing young people other different blueprints, that's a really valid blueprint.
Yeah.
Like, rah, dog walker, do you know what I'm saying? Like, like, if you're good with dogs, it's like minimum effort, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Boom. Like,
and obviously you got to pick up some poo, but
if you like dogs already, you're already doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that now. So,
no, but that's a good metaphor for like every hustle is gonna have some things you don't want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and that was the thing in it. It's like Danny don't mind because I'm gonna get loads of money, whereas Carl's like, I don't really like picking up the dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's nice that you said that. Like, when I went with you that one time, I was like, nah, I'm not trying to do this again. It's like, it's nice that Carl's trying all these different things and he's dabbling. That's why I felt like he was very stable. Like mentally, he's like the calm head steering the ship throughout. Until I would say towards the end, where I was like, yo, Carl's riding out a little bit. Carl needs to chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of that avenue of blueprints as well, where I think it's more of a back in the day thing where there was like the whole like the Looney Tunes t-shirts and stuff, like the designs where, and then the custom Air Forces like painting them and stuff like that. But this is like a late teen kind of thing where you're picking up these kind of hobbies, but you're making them into like little like you can like maybe sell a few to a few friends, and then one of your friends might be like, yo, I got a few people that I can send it to as well.
But I think like, again, with social media, like, and Shopify and stuff like that, you don't like.
I think this is the greatest time to be
an entrepreneur. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Because like for our book club, I do merchandise, so I design it and then I get it printed from like different places. And there's one place we got the last one's printed from. I wish I had one. I would have given it, so we got like a magnetic bookmark. So it's like a bookmark that sticks on both sides of the page like this.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, the banging.
Yeah, I need one of them.
I got a couple spares. I should have brought some to the studio. I'll show you a picture after. But I was just thinking about like there's so many different things that people can do that they're just not exposed to. Last day I was chatting to someone. I was asking them like, well, would you work in a studio or something like that? And they're not really interested. But like the way young people decide on a career, like, isn't really fair in the way that we're set up in this life. Because like you go to school, all this blah blah blah, go uni, like you're just kind of freestyling, and then all of a sudden you're looking for a place to live and all of this, but you're not really sure about what you want to do. But like we haven't been exposed to so many different things until now. I was in the age of social media. But
this is the thing, and it's also like you might study for that, train for that, be doing that for 5 years and realize this ain't what I want to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then it's like knowing how can I pivot? How can I, do you know what I'm saying? Like I run a social enterprise called Castletown Arts. You get me? We do work experience.
Okay.
And so from the same school, there was a young boy that I met, and he wanted to be like a studio engineer because he was into music. Right. I said, at the time I had links in the BBC. So I said, bro, let me send you on work experience with the BBC. But in his mind, he's like, but I want to be a studio engineer. But I said, I want you to see what else you can do around sound engineering.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
the skill set.
Yeah. He went, worked at the BBC Studio Works down in White City. He did 2 weeks work experience, boom, boom, boom. Like, he saw all the stuff behind the camera, like sound, was working on like some of the shows, Loose Women, Nasty Show, He ended up getting work with the BBC after that. Do you know what I'm saying? They took him on as a freelance, you get me? Boom, boom. And he now works in garden studios. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, boom, boom. But it was the idea that, let me just open your mind more than just being in a sound studio engineer situation where now he's worked on EastEnders, on sound here, sound there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that now.
He's got credentials.
And he realized that, you know, there's more to the sound industry than just being in the studio doing like music sound engineering. But there's nothing to say that he can't go back and do that. Yeah. But his credentials now are much like wider for him to be able to diversify through sound and engineering in the industry. So
it all comes back down to exposure at the end of the
day.
like
what
young
you're
people,
exposed to. Yeah,
like young people, we have dreams, but it's always like very one track minded.
Yeah,
and then we feel like if we don't get there, then we failed. Or whatever that for some reason that dream that we set up as a 15-year-old or something, we failed as an adult.
Failed. It's like, what's the point? What's the point? Like, you get me? What's the point? Like, you get me?
Yeah. So like even me, like, so I wanted to be a footballer first of all.
We all did.
Then I had the classic, the double ACL injury, and then I was like, but I still want to work in football one way or another, basically. So then I started doing physiotherapy. I studied physiotherapy for like 6 months. Dropped out. I was like, nah, I'm not being in it. But I still want to be. And I was like, nah, I still want to do football, something in football. Yeah. So I started learning graphic design because when we started this podcast, I started learning how to make thumbnails and stuff for YouTube. Yeah, and then I started learning a lot more about graphic design, really doubling down. Where I started freelancing and that, and then then I was like, I want to be like a designer for like Man United, my team. Now I don't really think so anymore. but now I've seen the designers that are working in those spaces as well, and I'm just like, nah, they're getting overworked and underpaid most of the time.
Yeah.
But I'm not someone who like shy away from like, if you're getting underpaid, as long as you're really enjoying it.
Enjoy it,
But I'm kind of like, it's just funny how my ideas have evolved over the years, where I'm not like kind of stuck in that, but it took a lot of unthinking to say that I'm not a failure because I didn't go that direction.
Yeah, I think we have to do more in making people understand how important it is for them to what's the word I'm looking for? Almost evolve, like keep evolving. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's like when I was younger, I had a colourful background. I could have stayed in that background. Do you know what I'm saying? Reinvent. How to reinvent themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have to let go of what core essentially is you, but sometimes there's situations like, this isn't working for you. Like, and you want to do something else, but you're stuck in the idea that you have to reinvent yourself to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And you have to shed the old skin to come into the new. So I think like it's important for us to be able to teach young people that through whatever it is that they want to do, you want to do that? You sure you want to do that? Okay, this is what it's going to take. Yeah, you committed to that? All right, come on, let's go. You get me? Do you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes in life itself, different things are thrown at you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you could be working at a job and like the place goes bankrupt. You didn't do nothing wrong, but now you have to pivot, and like you have to be able to know how to, all right, cool, what's the next move for me? Like, I've got creating transferable skills, basically. Reinvention and transferable skills.
I'm looking away from you a little because you triggered an idea in my head. There's a baseball player called Shohei Ohtani. Have you heard of him? The Japanese guy. Like the guy just like, he's like the Messi of baseball basically. Like he's ridiculous, like Japanese guy. But he did an interview where he was talking about like people were asking him, how did you come to achieve your dreams and stuff? And he was talking about like back in like high school or something, where one of his teachers taught him some method. I was trying to remember the name, that's why I was looking. I'll put it into whatever the description or something after. But there's a methodology that he was facing where he, in the center of it was like so it's like a grid, like a Sudoku puzzle kind of thing. But in the center of it is you, where you want to be, like your dream.
I think it's called a Ikagi. Ikagi. So it's almost like a sort of like a star, sort of overlapping circles, and then it says, this is what you're best at doing. This is what you like doing. This is what you could get paid at doing, and then this is what.
I don't think it's that, but it's
Is it
similar.
not?
It's similar. So it's basically like there's like 8 squares in a grid, but you're in the center of it, and that's it, like your dream. Yeah, and then you go write like 8 things around that. That's like, how do you want to get to that dream? Like, what's stopping you? But it's about like self-analysis. Like, what's stopping you from getting to that dream, and like then reverse engineering it. So then each of those 8 things. So for example, if it's resilience or whatever, in each of the 8 things, you got to think about like, how can I become more resilient? How can I like?
So it's like an extended SWOT analysis.
Basically, yeah. But the way it feels very personable the way they did it. I'll send it over to you after.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like, it's good technique. Like I started thinking I got to do something like that as well, innit? But like I think like self-analysis and being like self-critical of young people, it happens naturally. Like we're all like our own biggest critics. Like that's a big thing for young people, I think, especially like from coming from backgrounds where you're not given, there's a lot of tough love, you know, where like the love and attention isn't shown in that direct way, or like that guidance isn't shown in that direct way, unless you have someone that's like really like fine-tuned in that process already, you know. So having like frameworks to help younger people understand,
definitely,
it's so important, you know. But like we're talking about exposure and all of these things. I thought it was really fascinating that Sadiq had, I don't know, so much different exposure in the arts that he was in already, and like just that coming from his hobbies, it made me think a lot about like what I want to do as well. Funnily enough, this is my clothing brand here.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Let me just show. This is the logo right here on the hood as well.
Let us see. What's the name?
Abstract Souls.
Abstract Souls. Okay.
This is just a sample, and I'm trying to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Going back to the book, some of the names were incredible. The dog being called the Rizzler. I thought that was interesting.
Okay, so
let me just say the other one as well.
Go on.
Gobbler. Gobbler is an amazing name.
Gobbler. Yeah.
The guy came.
Gobbler. Yeah.
Because the guy's called Gobbler because he gobbles everything.
Yeah. No, do you know what the wickedest thing? This is okay. So, as we spoke earlier about like the importance of names and stuff like that, but Rizzler, one of my like my older god brothers, he had a dog. The dog was legendary in like our ends, called Rizzler. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that now. So it was like, nah, I'm gonna have to call this dog Rizzler. Do you know what I'm saying? But then when it came to Gobbler, like I think Gobbler's original name was something like Demon.
Okay.
You get me like that now? Because I was like, there's always a demon from every end. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, yeah. And then I thought, nah, I want something more original. And then you get me? It was like, and this is what I love about like just being creative and like having friends and stuff like that. I think I had about 4 names, and I said to everyone, which one sticks out? Which ones do you remember? And the man was, I remember one of my brethren in the group chat was like, Gobbler, that's dead blood. That one didn't, that man would rinse the, like, and I said, that's where I'm gonna make it, Gobbler. You get me? Because it was sort of like, you get me? Man would want to know, why is he called Gobbler? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that now. And then when you add it to the characteristics of the character, the big jaw and stuff like that, and it was like, yeah, man, I'm going to gobble up everything inside. You get me?
And was the black hole of the area.
You get me? Like gobble. You get me? Like that now. So yeah, I thought, yeah. You get
I thought all the names were great, honestly.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's something that I struggle with.
What did you think of Swank?
Swank? Like in terms of the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was like that's someone who kind of, they got their own little identity going on, you know?
Yeah.
And like that Swank name, it relates to that very well, I think. So I think that like that's something that I struggle with in terms of names. I don't know why. Like,
how do you mean?
Like if I'm writing, like, because I had I've got a few book ideas and I've written a couple chapters and stuff. And then, the names are something I always struggle with. Every time I write a name, it just feels like, nah, this doesn't make sense to the character, you know? Because, like, you know when you...
Yeah, but you can change it, though.
You can.
Yeah.
But, like, it's something I just struggle with in general. But, yeah, you know when you see someone, you're like, like, that's Didi. Like, it makes sense he's called Didi. Yeah, you know? And, like, but then you hear someone's name where, like, black brother called Owen or something, it's like, nah, it doesn't really make sense, you know?
No, but then you say a
or
black brother...
That feels like they got
say a black brother named Owen, yeah? What about Jesse Owens?
Jesse Owens.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, boom, boom, boom. There's
That's
like,
a surname.
yeah.
That feels more like a surname, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I forget that. I mean more like someone who sounds like they got two surnames instead of like a first name and a surname.
How do I just like names. So I think I used to have like a book of names.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so it was like, you know, like I would go, like, remember they'll tell you, like, even if you Google a name, it will tell you, here's the meaning of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Here's the origins of it. Like, here's the derivative of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, boom, boom, boom. And then they'll tell you, like, what year it was most popular in. So if you go back to, like, 20 years ago, like, if you, there's big young girls right now, that are called Destiny. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're between 19 and 25, there's like bare destinies because of Destiny's Child.
Trendy in certain times.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that for me, that becomes like almost like what pushes you in that direct, a marker. Like it's like, okay, cool. How old's the character? Okay, what names were popular? Okay, what's their demographic?
Okay.
You get me?
That's a lovely way of thinking about it.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like, boom, 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 okay, rare, tear. So if I said, right, this character is 24. His name's Liban Ali. You know what I'm saying? What do you take away from that already?
Yeah, somebody, that's a somebody brother. Probably from Northwest London or something. Right, I think I know someone called Liban Ali.
Right, do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for us, we say, right, boom, boom, that age, like we know, right, probably coming from East Africa, Again, you said Northwest. Why did you say Northwest?
Because of the population and like people that I know personally, and
So from the Northwest. So again, now this starts to push the narrative and the backstory of the character. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I say, right, boom, the character is called Liban Ali, but we're going to find him in Norfolk. Yeah? Boom.
What's he doing over there?
Right, do you know what I'm saying? But if I said to you, went to Norfolk University. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, so now he's in the story in Norfolk, in university, but you've already given him the backstory that says that he comes from Northwest. So again, him coming from Northwest, if I said to you, Kilburn, Church Road, Stonebridge, you get me? Like, which one does he come from?
Kilburn.
Killy, right? Let's say he comes from South Kilburn. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, boom. How much does it mean that he manages to go to Norfolk University, coming out of South Kilburn, and like, let's say that he's second generation immigrant. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a whole backstory.
Wow.
Just because you chose his name. Just because you chose a certain name. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas if I said his name's Gary Francois. Totally different. Totally different game, right?
Yeah. That's a Canary Wharf lawyer or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So I think I've touched on a lot of my points now. I'm gonna give Sharmarke some time of the day. We don't have a lot of time, but he's written some really good points. So here's one. Let's see. That was not something that I read earlier. Did we lose our love for reading, or was it never there? Do you feel black boys ever truly had a love for reading, or were we never given stories that reflected our worlds? Let's say from school.
I think we wasn't given the stories. I think, like, do you know what I'm saying? I think it's very hard to get young black boys into reading, especially if they don't see themselves in the stories, or there's something that they relate to. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you think about the other stuff that they have to, like, literature has to compete with. So, like, let's say, like, film, TV, comics, do you know what I'm saying? Like
anime is a big thing now, anime and manga.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Which is, I think it's great, actually.
My thing is this, I don't see nothing wrong with them, but do you know what I'm saying? This, I see them as, that's something that literature has to compete with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
True.
So is there a way that you can merge them? Yeah. If not, what is it that literature's missing that is in anime or manga, like let's say manga because it's still printed. Yeah. In manga or comics, you get me? Because we always know that young boys go for comics and stuff like that. And why? What is it that literature's missing other than the pictures? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and how do we incorporate that? So I think a lot of the time, maybe I don't think it's we lost our love. You get me? Like, there's not necessarily a continuous practice of reading. Like, I think for young boys, reading just becomes functional. Do you know what I'm saying? I can read. Like, why have I got to read that book? If I need something, I'll go and I'll find it. I'll Google it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, you get me? It needs to be something to engage now. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, raw. Like, my uncle gave me this. It's banging. Do you know what I'm saying? Boom. So, yeah.
I've got 2 more questions for you. Oh, he's got really good questions here.
Go for it.
I feel bad. I'm not gonna give him. I can't give them all.
Just give them all in.
Here's a good one. So, fatherhood feels like a quiet theme in the book. The absence is felt even when it's not spoken about. Was that intentional for you?
Oh,
because you don't really mention fathers much throughout the book at all.
No, I don't. I think because with Sadiq, there's a backstory about his brother.
Where's Sadiq like? In terms of character, like, he feels like an East African to me, but like, I don't know, like Eritrean or something. I don't know.
No, no.
But then again, you said his mom was making oxtail and all that as well.
Yeah. Sadiq, both Sadiq and Carl come from they come from sort of like Caribbean backgrounds. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's a sort of backstory in terms of Sadiq and Carl actually feature in another manuscript that I had before. Do you know what I'm saying? So, which was based around Sadiq's older brother. Okay. So it was like, yo, boom, I'm gonna use these 2 for this story. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Boom.
Yeah, because you mentioned his older brother and we didn't get a lot of backstory behind it. So I'm saying that, go check the other book out, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's why maybe there's a sort of like, you can feel the absence of a father figure coming from that household, kind of like, do you know what I'm saying? Or it's just looming, you get me? Because again, even sometimes when like young boys do have like father figures and stuff like that, if they're not hitting in the correct way, do you know what I'm saying? What we end up doing is like, being in our friends group, we just make up our own thing of what it is to be a man and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Which a lot of the characters in the book do. They're just kind of figuring out it for themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what young people do, regardless of what they're being told by their parents.
Which is a good example of that is when I said Kyle was wilding out a bit towards the end. Like, if you had a father figure who's engaged with him and like you might have discussed some of those ideas with him, where like, oh, what's Sadiq doing here? Like, he's messing about with this girl, blah blah blah. Like, gonna ruin his life. Like, the way he moved, like the way he was talking to the girl and that, like, it was very disrespectful. Almost like,
I mean, but again,
it's like he created his own set of principles based on like his ideology of his environment and stuff like that. Where I feel like, maybe if he did bounce some ideas of other people who weren't just his friends, then maybe.
Yeah, but then he's got Sharky.
Yeah,
Sharky is kind of
like, like a bit of like a.
Like, he feels like, although he's their age, he's like, do you know what I'm saying? So he like, even Sharky pulls Kyle up.
Yeah, he does.
He says, brother, you're wilding. But then Sharky, if you check it, Sharky's got his 2 older uncles as like proper male role models for him. So maybe that's why Sharky's there in the sense of like, he can talk and reason like how he does because he's had to talk and reason with his uncles in a certain sort of fashion.
Yeah, so, like Gobler was like, oh, what's Sharky gonna do? Bring his uncles or whatever. Like, I'm gonna handle them as well. So I guess there's like all these little subtle nods to that. So that makes sense when you explain it like that. So the last question, what do you hope a young black boy takes away after reading Ugly Dogs Don't Cry?
Options. I think whether it's a young black boy, young girl, like Asian, Arab, whatever, white, you know what I'm saying? I think like if they sit down and read it, I think for me, if it's a young black boy, understand that there's other things to be that you can do to get you to where you want to go to. It doesn't always have to be road. It doesn't always have to be music. It doesn't always have to be like entertainment and stuff like that. Like we need young black role models in different areas, like law, like medicine, whatever not now. And again, if it was someone who wasn't from that young black boy demographic, it would be able to say, right, how could I look at the story that's being told and look at a different version, like especially for an older person who was reading it, that actually understanding that the young men that you see, the young black boys that you see, they're not all like hoods up, knife in their pocket, rare, tear. Some of them are trying to really navigate the situations that they've been raised in.
Yeah.
You get me? The environments that they've been put into, like states and stuff like that. And they're looking for opportunities to do better. Once you give them opportunity to do better, I guess a large majority of them will be able to do better and set a new path for the others coming up. We need more different sort of archetypes for young black men. So, but I think for me, it's the idea of options and found family. Yeah, like through your friends and stuff like that.
It's really nice because we read another book and we interviewed the author. Someone is a lady called Salma Ibrahim, and she's based in South London. She wrote a book called Salutation Road, and it's about like a Somali girl who's the older sister with a single mum household. She got a younger brother. Like in the book, like the younger brother was going out till late, and the mum was worried and all this, but. Like the young brother was saying, he's just going out with his friends and he just he just shooting some pictures and stuff. And then like in the back of your head, as a reader, you're thinking, he's going on the wrong path, whatever. But later on, she just explains like he actually was like trying to double down on this photography thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a nice story because like every other story is just like this guy gone down the wrong path, hanging around the wrong people. Whereas like you kind of show that there's other options.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to break the current stereotypes and introduce new archetypes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna get the name of that book and have a look at it as well. You get me like that now, because that sounds like something I want to read as well. You get me? And
just before we close off, so the thing that I told you about the methodology is called the Harada method. So I'll send you the whole thing. But just on a closing one, any advice or thoughts that you want to give to the listeners? Anyone who wants to become a writer, like myself.
So my advice to writers is always just write. Just write. Like, you're always gonna hear 70% of what writers do is rewriting and editing. But I think the most important thing is if you've got this story, and it's an important story to you, it might actually be an important story to me as well, because nobody's ever told it. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you sit there and you wait, someone will have tell that story and you're thinking, I had the same story.
I've had plenty of those.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
my thing is like, right. Like, do you know what I'm saying? The only way for you to get to where you want to be is by writing. Like, whether it starts off bad, you write again, like that's how you find your voice, you find your practice, you find your craft, is only by trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if we just keep holding it back or keep trying to perfect it, like the world's missing out on your talent. Do you know what I'm saying? So you get me? Just get out there, right, and find your tribe, find your community. Yeah.
Cool. So where can the people find you and your work? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah. So they can find me on Ugly Dogs Don't Cry on Insta. Like, you can find my book at Jacaranda Books. You can find it on Waterstones, Amazon if you want. Audible, you get me, for those of you who like to listen to the audio books and stuff like that. I'm working on a few bits and bobs for 2026, hopefully. A collection of poetry should be coming out. And I'm working on a theatre play at the moment. So fingers crossed, all of those things should land for 2026. Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, Didi.
Thank you,
honestly, I really enjoyed the conversation, and I would love to have you back on as soon as possible.
Yeah, let me know, man. Let me know.
You're one of my favorite guests.
Thank you, bro.
So yeah, it's been an absolute honor. Thank you for coming on to the PaperTrails podcast with the Inspyre boys. Only one boy today, but yeah, man. Thank you for listening, everybody, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the PaperTrails podcast. If you like this episode, please leave a review, comment, like, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on all our socials.
Keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.